Next, it's time for our Tech 24 segment, and we are going to be following the developing story of a flood of disinformation about Israel and Gaza on social media right now. And the European Commission has been responding. For this, I'm joined by Peter O'Brien from our tech desk. Hello there, Brian. Good to see you. What's the latest from the European Commission?
Well, they're investigating X. That's the big news. That's, of course, Elon Musk's platform formerly known as Twitter. It comes after the Internal Market Commissioner Thierry Breton sent letters to X as well as Meta platforms and TikTok, ordering them to act urgently to tackle this huge spread of disinformation on all of these platforms since Hamas's attack. It's the first major test of the EU's Digital Services Act, which forces internet giants to tackle harmful content or face massive fines. Now, in X's reply to the European Commission, CEO Linda Yaccarino wrote that they'd assembled a, quote, leadership group to assess the situation and said, quote, in crisis situations, X's unique purpose to serve the public conversation, access and share information, raise awareness around the situations they are in and on the ground, and openly and freely exchange on the issues becomes all the more critical. Now, this word salad obviously didn't impress the Commission very much. They've begun their investigation by requesting more information from X on this crisis response protocol, giving X until next Wednesday to provide more information. Now, X seems to be relying a lot on a form of user-generated moderation called community notes, but experts say it's not enough. One reason for the increase of disinformation since Elon Musk took over the platform is that now users can be paid based on how much engagement their tweets get, which obviously provides a financial incentive for the most shocking, click-worthy content, even if it's fake.
Now, you briefly mentioned Meta, but better known to most people as Facebook, Instagram, these platforms, WhatsApp as well. But how has Meta's platforms and TikTok been handling this?
Yeah, so Meta issued their own reply this Friday morning saying that they'd removed almost 800,000 pieces of disturbing content in Hebrew or Arabic in the first 3 days after the attack. And that's a lot more than the, quote, tens of thousands that X said it removed or labeled, though X is, of course, a smaller platform. Meta also said they established a special operations center staffed with experts. And as for TikTok, no response yet. But in its letter, the Commission underlined that the platform is extensively used by teenagers and children who TikTok has a particular obligation to protect under the DSA. Moderating TikTok, though, is potentially the hardest of them all because it's such a video-based platform without many captions and without many keywords. It's difficult to actually search out harmful content. Obviously, to debunk something, you first need to find it, and videos without captions or without with writing on the video itself can easily elude moderators. Now, in terms of the actual scale of the problem, the Israeli cybersecurity firm Cyabra analyzed 2 million posts across Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitter, and made the claim that a quarter of all profiles discussing the conflict were fake. I'm now joined by the CEO of Cyabra, Dan Brahmi. Thanks so much for joining us, Dan. So how did you come to this figure then? A quarter of the profiles you looked at being fake?
Well, obviously the last few days have been has shown us a lot of different tactics to employ in order to confuse and in order to create deceptive imagery and deceptive content online. What we have done is we have put every single resource in our company for the sake of educating and providing value add and transparency back to the media organizations around the world, as well as security agencies if needed. And we found that, yes, among the few millions of pieces of content that we have analyzed, we have been using machine learning to understand and distinguish between real, bad, and fake, and realize that on average, 1 account out of 4 was a fake account that was involved in the propagation of those so-called fictitious and nefarious messages. And the scale is absolutely insane. We can see that the most active tens of thousands of fictitious accounts on the major social platforms so far have generated a little over 500 million views, which is, believe it or not, it's an unbelievable number, and we have a hard time grasping that as well. But the strategies and the tactics that are being put to nefarious use is also just critically difficult to grasp, and we're doing everything we can to help everyone around here.
Now, just to clarify one thing, you say a quarter of all the profiles you looked up are fake, but you also say a quarter of all the pro-Hamas profiles you've looked up are fake. So is this the same number, or did you just look into pro-Hamas content?
No, we actually looked at every single profile involved in the war itself, not just the pro-Hamas, pro-Israel, but everything in between, to make sure that we, as a private company, are able to provide an objective picture for everyone who's interested in learning more and sort of understanding the discoveries that we have.
All right, that's all we got time for. Thank you, Dan Brahmi, CEO of Cyabra, for joining us. And as a reminder, our viewers can stay up to date with France 24's own fact-checking with our daily show from the France 24 Observer's Truth or Fake.
Peter O'Brien from our tech desk, thank you so much for that really interesting segment.